12 can't see me. 12 can't see me. Unplayable, playable. 12 can't see me. Unplayable, playable. Yeah. 12 can't see me. You don't need the protection when you blessed. I'm hip stepping, handling business. Don't try to play me like a kid, I ain't what it is. Grown folks tell you what it is in a hot minute. I pop eyes, stay fly, plus I got spit it. Shorty wanna kick it, we can kick it in some more shit. Then probably pull it up, get the drill lit. 12 on knowledge, all I know is I don't know. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Hey yo, this is your fam, General Pow Shadowz. Right back on your ass with some more content. Yo, peace and love, shouts out. That was the song, of course, Pow Shadowz, available on iTunes. Check it out. This is like a part 2, but since this is going to be uploaded to YouTube, because, you know, what I'm doing is this. I'm taking my Facebook lives, I'm downloading those, and I'm uploading those to my YouTube channel. Shadowz TV, SHADOWZ TV. So the people who are on my Facebook Live, my friends, y'all get to see all the content first, and then I disperse that into the world, because it's about the fam. So anybody who might be watching this on YouTube later, go ahead and friend me on Facebook, because I still have a lot of space open, because I did not flood my Facebook with a bunch of randoms. So, you know, if you are about something, if you are a person, you know, that is doing your thing and you're about something, feel free to look me up on Facebook under Pow Shadowz. POWANOLISHADOWZ. So for y'all, some of y'all that tuned in the other night, y'all know I was speaking on the Colin Kaepernick thing. So I'm you know, like I told y'all, I'm trying to do my best to make these videos. I'm trying to do my best to make these videos, you know, short and to the point. You know, shorter and to the point, instead of doing these hour-long videos and all that. So we want to keep it moving. There's a lot to talk about in the world, and I don't have an hour to talk about all of it. And you don't have an hour to listen to it all either, do you? I'm sure you don't. So basically, where we at is this. Okay, so first I'll start off with my story, how I did the other night. This is for all people who haven't heard it. You know, in 1989, I went to Chicago as a child. And, you know, I never rocked Nike since 1989, like I said in my other posts. And, you know, the reason being was because in 1989, I went to Chicago for the 3rd or 4th time. But now I'm a young adolescent. And now I'm at the age where I'm talking to girls, I'm conscious of things, I'm able to hop off the porch and kick it with the G's, and so now I'm at that age. So, you know, I knew I was going to Chicago, so I made my mom buy me a pair of Nikes, blue, white, and black Nikes. I think they was like some, I don't even know, whatever was out in 89, whatever was hot like that year or the year before, you know, but the Nikes was new and they was fresh, and I knew I was going to a big city, so I had to be fresh. So I took the Nikes out, took my Nikes out, rocked them when I went to Chicago. I was staying with I used to go up to Chicago and stay, experience extended periods, whole summers with my grandfather. So I was going up to stay the whole summer with my grandfather. And, you know, like I said, that's why to the part, I always felt like I was part Chicago in my veins, because, you know, I would spend a lot of time up there with my grandfather, who owned Murphy's Lounge on 76 in Cottage Grove. My grandfather was a businessman, an original businessman in Chicago. So, you know, he's official. So, you know, me going to Chicago, spending time with my grandfather, who was well respected in the whole South Side and parts of the West Side and other parts of Chicago, it was a good thing. You know, I got to really learn the city. I got to really know what Chicago was all about. I know how they used to lynch black people my grandfather told me how they used to lynch black people from the street poles in Chicago. He said, yeah, while they was lynching the white people you know, from the trees in the South, they was lynching niggas in street poles up here in the shop. You know, so that's my grandfather, rest in paradise eternally. Herbert Murphy, he returned to the Essence last year. That's what he told me, you know. And I remember, you know, it was a lot of heat in Chicago because of the Nikes and because of the Jordans. And kids were being murdered. Kids were being killed for their starter jackets and for their Nikes, and specifically their Air Jordans in Chicago in 1989. And I was there. I was in the midst of it all. You know what I'm saying? I was really, you know, I was hearing about the murders on the news, like shit was just had happened, and I'm watching the night news, and this shit happened, you know, 10 blocks up there or a few neighborhoods over here, and you know, and they told me two things. You know, they said, you know, don't wear your expensive gear when you rolling around here. You know, because I used to walk around Chicago like it was nothing, and they told me don't wear your expensive gear, and because they'll rob you for it and possibly kill you. And don't wear your hat to the right or to the left. Like right now, you see I got my hat to the right. That's because I'm not a gangbanger in times of change. And this isn't the South Side Chicago 1989. But if I was in Chicago right now, I would not have my hat to the right at all, because that would signify Gangster Disciple affiliation. And if I wore my hat to the left, that would signify Insane Vice Lord affiliation. So, you know, I knew that, so I always wore my hat straight, you know. And I was a cool guy. I could rap, and you know, so that kept me cool. But one thing was, kids was getting murdered for their Air Jordans. Kids was getting murdered for their Nikes. And you know, I remember my grandfather. He, you know, when I first came to the bar, he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, peace and love to everybody coming on right now. Peace and love. This is yours truly, General Pow Shadowz, of the Almighty House of Hip Step Fire Stepping Entertainment 2018. We doing it." And it's good to see all of y'all. Much love to all my people. So the story goes like this. My grandfather, he kept it a buck with me always. And I had my Nikes on, and I went to, you know, I was hanging out at his tavern. Because, you know, in Chicago, they don't call it bars. They call it taverns. So I was hanging out at my grandfather's tavern. And he had, and I had my Nikes on. And my grandfather kept looking at my Nikes. And he was like, you know, he was like, And I just wondered why he kept rolling his eyes every time he looked at my Nike. He wasn't like mean mugging. My grandfather never was a mean mugging type. He just was like, he looked at him, then he just kind of, you know, just like, you know, the way the old timers look at you, let you know they displeased. And I'm like, Granddad, what's the problem? And he's like, those Nikes, man. I don't like those Nikes. We don't wear Nikes around here. I'm like, you don't wear Nikes around here? Like, why not? He said, nah, we don't wear Nikes around here because, you know, the kids is getting murdered for those Nikes. The kids is getting murdered for those Air Jordans, and Nike ain't doing shit about it. Nike doesn't care. My grandfather never cussed to me, really, so let me refine my language. But it was like, I'm not saying he didn't cuss. He just didn't cuss when he talked to me. And he was like, so I'm going to keep that legacy, you know, and respect that. But he was like, we don't wear that around here. He may have said shit, because when he get mad, he'll cuss. Like, that's the only time my grandfather really cussed around me, is when he get mad. So he might have said, you know, we don't like that shit around here, you know. And I was like, why not? And he was like, you know, kids is getting murdered for those shoes. And you know, Nike's not doing anything about it. You know, and I thought that was, you know, he's like, Jordan, you know, we boycotting that shit, basically. We boycott Nikes around here. And I can't speak for the whole city of Chicago. I can't speak for the whole South Side. All I can speak for is 76 in Cottage Grove, South Evans, in the streets, you know, motherfucking Stony Island, or, I think it is, whatever that street, I think where Common is from, because you got Cottage Grove, you got, I think, Stony Island, And then, you know, shit, those between those blocks and the neighborhood, the radius of the 70s up to like the hundreds, that neighborhood, that area, it wasn't feeling no Nike shit. It was boycotting Nike. And that stuck with me, you know, like I had brought some other sneakers. Like I said the other day, I brought some other sneakers up there to the shop with me, and I had to rock those. You know, I think I had like some K-Swiss and like some Reeboks and shit. And you know, they was cool, but they wasn't fresh like them brand new Nikes I had. But I put them away because I didn't want to be a standout in that community. I didn't want people in that community looking at me crazy. And you know, this went on for years. You know, Nike never spoke up about this. And you know, I do own Nike shit, but I've never bought Nike shit. You know, it's been always, you know, a gift to me and whatnot, you know. So I never paid for any Nike gear, you know. And, you know, I never heard Nike address this. I never heard Jordan. So fast forward 2016, 2015, 2016, you know, I'm watching DJ Academics, you know, and you know, before he got hot and shit, you know, before he was on Everyday Struggle and all that, you know, and I was watching him on the come up. And one of the first videos I watched, if not the first video that caught my attention, was how it was like, people are dying. What's up? What up, Sankey? Salute. Shouts out to my brothers from Osadalos, a.k.a. Destiny, the reggae band I used to play with for 5 years. Sankey. Shout out Kenny, Dave, Don, and of course, shout out Jude Rude. Shout out Neoshi Jackson. And yeah, we did our thing, you know. We did that damn thing. But getting back to the subject, you know, I'm watching DJ Academics, and he's like, you know, yo, people still dying, you know. Oh, people. He's not saying people still dying, because now he, you know, he ain't referencing 1989. He's referencing 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You know, it's like people are dying over these shoes, and like, you know, and I'm like, I'm looking, he's doing his thing. You know, if you look at DJ Academic's timeline, go back a few years or whatever, that video is there, you know, about how he was reporting, he was like, you know, and Academics all animated, he's like, niggas is dying over these Nikes, you know, niggas, you know, what's wrong with you niggas? What's wrong with you niggas? You know, niggas act stupid, you know, niggas. That's my DJ Academics impersonation. You know, man, I mean, you know, niggas is dumb. You know, dumb niggas, you know, going to die over like fucking killing people over shoes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never claimed to be the hardest nigga, you know? I ain't never claimed, you know, that's my impersonation Academic. But anyway, Academics was saying that, and you know, only thing I could think to myself was, still? You know, motherfuckers is still dying over Nikes? What's Jordan still ain't came out and said shit? This is still an epidemic? Niggas has gotten actually, brothers and sisters, excuse me, have actually gotten more ignorant? They're continuing on the tradition of the OGs. They never learned nothing. They never learned anything. So since they ain't learned anything, it still goes on. And that's why we gotta pass. That's why it's important for G's, OGs, conscious brothers and sisters in the community, caring citizens, to come on and give the youth knowledge and share their knowledge and information to the youth, so that they don't continue on in these negative habits, and they don't continue on in these bad traditions of dying over some fucking shoes, i.e. Nike, i.e. in particular Jordans. But fast forward to 2017, when everything happened with Kaepernick, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's great. I think that it's a way that Nike can repair a lot of the damage that their product has caused by supporting a brother who sacrificed his career. And I said it before and I'll say it again. He did not sacrifice his career over the flag. he took the opportunity to kneel during the national anthem in order to bring light and to boycott police brutality and police terrorism. And of course, people who have their own agenda, people who have their own racist agenda are going to take a situation like that, super highlighted the national anthem part and say, see what he did to the national anthem? He disrespected the national anthem. And that is a smokescreen to get to the real issue of but they'll never, those same racist people who will say that Kaepernick did this to boycott the national anthem and he should be killed and he should be stoned to death, would never denounce police brutality. Gotcha. See, those individuals, they'll never denounce police brutality, but they'll denounce Colin Kaepernick and go after him because they're okay with police brutality. And and what it is that they want him to be quiet. They want us to shut the fuck up about police brutality. They want us to shut the fuck up about racism. But you know what? We're not going to shut the fuck up. We're never going to shut the fuck up. As long as I can continue to be harassed, and I do continue to be harassed by the police on various occasions, I, in 2018, a black American male, have to worry about the police every time I leave my house. Not sometimes I leave my house, every time, because these insane, crooked police, and not the ones who join the police force to do good for the community and try to help people. Of course I'm not talking about them. Of course I'm not talking about them. But these crooked ass police, these racist, crooked ass police are out to get me, to harass me, and up to murder me. Any opportunity they get, and use and abuse their badge and their power. And I will never shut up about that shit. And we will never shut up about that shit. And I don't care how many racist citizens who have no fucking power, who the same police, because you're broke. You're broke, and the police don't give a fuck about you when you're broke. Nobody cares about you when you broke but your fam. I don't care if you're white, you're black, you're Asian, but you think that you're fucking like higher than some other poor person. If you don't have money, you're fucking, they don't give a fuck about you either. And damn right I get emotional about this shit. I've been beaten by the police. Broke the orbital bone in my eye over an illegal search. Trump up charges. So, you damn right I get emotional. But a lot of these poor racists, these white people, these of European descent who are poor, they don't understand. The police don't love you either. And I've been to rallies against police terrorism, rallies against police brutality. And I've seen poor white people there at those rallies talking about how the police killed them, their brother. So you can play the game all you want, but if all police brutality and police terrorism should concern all people in the country. And that's what I'm gonna say about that. I think that it's a great thing for them to support Colin Kaepernick, who got fired. He lost his career, and I think it's a great thing. I just do, man. I think it's good. You know what I mean? That they're supporting Colin Kaepernick, and I hope that they stand behind other people. Do they have their own agenda in doing so? Yes, Nike's a corporation, but it's the thought that counts. The thought does count. And it ain't just the thought. They're actually putting money in Colin Kaepernick. They employed him when the NFL fired him. And now you got all these racists around the country. Fuck the internet. Fuck Nike. Fuck Nike. Burn Nike. mayors and shit banning it from parks in Louisiana and all this kind of crazy, insane shit. The insanity, people's insanity comes out in times like this. You see who is who. You see who is who. We see you. We see who you are. You racist motherfucker, you. We see you. Thank you for coming out the woodwork, you racist motherfucker. No, not to rock with you, you racist motherfucker. You're the problem. You know, the racist motherfuckers, you're the problem. Salute. Shouts out to all my homies tuning in. Much love to y'all. So let's talk about this N-word. I told y'all I'm going to be making these videos shorter because I don't want to be, long-winded. I can be long-winded and shit, so I'm trying to get to the point. The N-word. White people, white Americans, Americans of European descent. Hear me and hear me well. I said this the other night, but I want to reiterate this. I got about 2 minutes. Listen. If you care about black people, on any level, if you have a black friend, you have black people you consider your fam, black Americans, you should not, let me say this correctly. I don't want to be misheard. You should not want to use the N-word because if you're intelligent and you wouldn't want to use a word that has historically hurt your black comrade. So even in a joke or even in a rhyme, why would you even want to attach yourself? And knowing that these words came off the lips of white people who said, lynch that nigga, kill that nigga, get that nigga. That nigga whistled at my woman. That nigga trying to holler at my white daughter or whatever. And it wasn't, and even though today we use it in slang and in hip hop, just think of yourself. Why would you want to attach yourself to that? Because whereas Pow Shadowz, I'm not going to get hot. I'm not going to want to beat your ass when you use the word because I'm just a different type of a person. I don't think words that come out of people's mouth be like, to me, it's like words coming out of people's mouths. It's like you say shit, your mouth is your pie hole. It's just like a human being opening his mouth. He might as well be saying, when somebody come to me and say, hey, nigga, or call me a nigga, he might as well look at me and say, and I'm going to respond to him the same way his motherfucker said, than I would if he said nigga, because it's both the same gibberish to me. And no man can say something that can move me to the point where I don't want to be moved. I'm only moved when I want to move. I don't move. You can't say something to me and then I'm going to react based on what you said because I'm a free thinker. What no man says moves me. I move out of consciousness. I move when I feel like it. So it's like if somebody say something to me and then I bust a move because of what they said, that person to a degree kind of got control over me is the way I see it. That's the reason why racists, one time I'll give you an example. I was downtown Nashville doing this whole Donald Trump thing where he was being elected and certain white folk, I was in the South, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here in the West now. Shouts out to all my West Siders, you know what I'm saying? But the South is a different animal and, people was feeling themselves and this, I'm positive I heard a white dude say, nigger, out of his car to me. This right before I moved out here, this last summer and shit. I'm rolling around, I'm dipping on the east side, right downtown. I was right on Spring Street, on the east side. And I swear to God, it was like 1, 2 in the morning. I was on the way to see my homegirl who I've known for 20 years in this EDM culture, in this bass music culture. She's Italian. I was on my way to go kick it with her. And it was like, I've been knowing her for years. And it was like, it was ill, he wanted to rise. He probably wanted me to honk a horn. And I know some people that would have gave him that work. I got some of my homies that give him that work. And I told y'all I was going to tell y'all a story about something that happened where somebody used the N-word. My black friends met my white friends. It was like some movie shit. And one of them used, and the white guy was using the N-word. But I knew the guy, and I knew his history. And what my black friends didn't know is that years before that, I already knew his story. And I had made up my mind about him. And I knew these black guys too, and they collided. And the N-word was spoken. And on my next video, I'm going to go into that. Remember, I got to keep these videos short. But that N-word, all right, it's cool. That N-word, he said, I think my live feed's been blocked. I don't think so. There shouldn't be no reason. Shouldn't be no reason my live feed is blocked. Trevor, so I don't know what that's about because it's been working. But anyway, I'll get back into that. If my live feed is blocked or whatever, I don't think it is, but go back, you could rewind and watch the video. It'll be posted here in a minute. But yeah, part 2, I'm gonna talk about what happened when my black friends met my white friends. It was, and the N-word came out, and it's tragedy. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But yeah, I think Colin Kaepernick is good. Teaming up with Nike, I'm glad to see that because that's a little show of concern, you know, that's a show of concern and care, and it's like a good move. It's like a good look, and I think that my intelligent white friends should say to themselves, why do I want to use a word that has historically been used to hurt my homie? Why would I even drop? I don't even want no parts of that shit. Fuck that. I don't even want no parts of it. You know? That's what I think my white friends who are intelligent and have an intelligent mind. I think that that's what, you know, they would say. So, I don't know. My man says he thinks my live feed's been blocked. I hope not. I hope y'all got this message loud and clear. If not, I'll be right back to say it all over again because it's going to be heard. Peace and love, y'all. I'm out. General Pow Shadowz. Unfadable. Don't forget to get this on iTunes. Pow Shadowz Unfadable. 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 12 can't see me. 12 can't see me. Unfadable. 12 can't see me. Unfadable. Yeah. 12 can't see me. You don't need their protection when you blessed. I'm hip stepping, handling business. Don't try to play me like a kid. I ain't with it yet. Grown folks tell you what it is in a hot minute. Yo, make sure you get that Pow Shadowz Unfadable. It's available on iTunes right now. Also on YouTube. All right, and on SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/Pow Shadowz. I'm out, family. Peace and love. I love y'all, yo. Check that out. Check that out. Subscribe to Shadowz TV. Yeah, I'm going to be dropping more hot videos coming at y'all, man. Hot topics. We're going to keep them hot potato topics popping up like hot potatoes. All right. Shouts out to my peeps in L.A., West Side, East Side, North Side, and the dirty, dirty South. I love y'all, man, all right? This is yours truly, General Pow Shadowz, House Hips, Fire Stepping Entertainment, 2018. Salute. I see y'all, all my MCs and my fans and my friends and my fam. I see y'all.